I say, fuck jail. I wish nothing but death and on like a Future. I wish death on Future. And here's what, sure. And here's why I wish death and on Future, right?
That seems kind of harsh, though, right?
No, death. And here's why it's Future. There was a beautiful black boy, man, in Southside Chicago, right? He had a single mama, but he wasn't part of no gangs, bro, and he was in band, art, right? And he did and all the right things, right? But again, a single mama, she goes to work. She leaves this kid to like, his own vices. Yep. Around the age of 16, this kid who was in band, who was a musical genius, discovered Future. And while his mama is at work and he's listening, that's why to this day, I say, fuck jail. And he's listening to Dirty Stoner in that styrofoam, spending days getting mind blown. And he says, oh shit, bro, listen to Future made me want to do pills and drugs. So then he started taking drugs and pills. Now, he's such a musical genius that this kid went on to be the most impactful rapper of his generation. But that kid died, and he's listening to Dirty Stoner in that. But that kid died on a plane taking pills.
So about Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. That kid name is Juice WRLD, and he says, I was in band, I was living a good life, and I started taking pills because of Future. So hence, Future's music led him down a path that killed him. Now too, and here's why it's even more fucking sinister and evil of Future. Nicki Minaj said, yo, I was in the studio with this nigga Future. And he told me, man, bruh, I don't be doing drugs for real, Nicki. Like, I'm just rapping about it. For me, right, again, because it's cool. So this nigga said, I don't do drugs, Nicki. I'm just rapping about it, Nicki. So this nigga led up, again, trust me, Juice WRLD ain't the only kid, bruh. This nigga took one of the brightest stars in a black music from us by rapping about a lie that he not doing to fill up his own pockets? How's that fair? How does he deserve to live after taking away from us one of the brightest young stars of our generation? By a lie, bruh.
So it goes on. What I'm hearing from Flacco was saying, like I said, when rappers, when they rap about drugs and stuff and everything, even though majority of rappers, they don't. I'll say majority of rappers that they don't do participate in drugs. If you go all the way from our generation of rappers and everything, but just to see, with Juice WRLD, her Future, and he got into the drugs and everything, and then years later, it kind of took his life and everything, and it's just the lyrics of of the rap community of like for me, like I hear, like I said, I love rap and hip hop, but the stuff that like they talk about with gun violence and everything, drugs and everything, I knew I couldn't take it seriously, but for some people they take it's like, okay, if I do this, maybe I'll make it big or something like that, and that's what happened to Juice WRLD and other people as well. And with Flacco, he just say he said, no, forget that, don't forget jail. I wish that man, death on him, which is he was really serious with it. So Hakeem, man, I definitely want to hear from you because you got a little bit of expertise about these things. And what's your take, brother? What's your take?
Coming to the penthouse.
Okay, Sherry.
It's a difficult one because I've done music and I've listened to Dirty Sprite. I've never wanted to do drugs, and I know that's subjective to individuals, but Kurt Cobain, Hendrix, a lot of guys, a lot of rockers have made music pertaining to drugs, singers. There's ballads that are talking about that, and I think when it comes to hip hop, we try to hold ourselves to the highest accountability. And don't get me wrong, I agree. And how you doing, Bobby? There's certain times I think there's certain messages that shouldn't be spewed. I agree on that. But then I do think that at a certain point, Juice World was an adult, and accountability you can't shift blame on just one person. Then we need to just blame the whole industry. Record labels allow this stuff to get pushed out. People who make music allow this. You know what I mean? We're gonna blame somebody. We're gonna have to blame going all the way back to that. All the way back to even Motown. Motown had songs talking about sleeping with other women, drinking bottles of liquor. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Wherever he laid his hat, that's where he made his home. A lot of people took that song seriously. So I'm wondering, do we hold them accountable, or do we start to tell people if the people who are getting affected by the music, do they have mental problems? Because out of the vast amount of people who listen to music, a lot of them are not picking up machine guns and busting them. The biggest consumers are whites in music. Not a lot.
And after that's Mexicans.
It's Mexicans. I don't see a lot of them.
I mean Hispanics. I'm sorry,
Hispanics. Black people, we make the music, but we rarely consume it the way they consume it. And a lot of them are suburban white kids who go to school, go to college, and do this. A lot of them don't want to be trap stars.
Shoot, probably Brian and Sherry, they having a good old time over at the Ritz.
I see that. Yeah, the Ritz, tell my B-Day, Gorilla put my girls up, and we love Gorilla. Shout outs to Gorilla Black.
Shout out to Gorilla. Yeah. Yeah, Hakeem, man. Yeah, I kind of agree with your sentiments. Fresh Farm Store said it's like blaming video games on school incidents. Yeah, that's true. It does come to if you have like a mental illness, because usually we like I said, we hear like rock and roll that talks about drugs and stuff, rap that talks about drugs and guns and all that type of things and everything. It hits to me. It just hits somebody. You don't hear a person every day, on the news every day, shooting up schools or doing drugs, hard drugs or cocaine, crack, and all that type of things. It's like back in the '90s, we had movies out there like Menace to Society, South Central, what's the other movie with Wesley Snipes? What was that movie he was in? He was in New York. He was a Kingpin.
New Jack City.
New Jack City. Yes, New Jack City. Yeah, just movies like that, and like just stuff like that. It's like you said, you don't, like I said, we play stuff like that or play video games like that or listen to rap music like that. You don't hear the people every day, taking drugs like that or going into schools or going to robberies like that. It's just people that does that thing. They have a mental illness, and it needs to be addressed or something like that. Unfortunately, Juice WRLD, I just he probably had a mental illness, or also he probably didn't have a mental influence because he did say, he had a single mother and everything. But where was her father, or where was the uncle, or where was the teacher or the band teacher when he was in band class who can really, put him in a straight line like that? Because it sounds like Juice WRLD wasn't in a straight line, and he got so easy to introduce about Future that to take drugs was that Future didn't do it. Firstly, he took it. Liz it took his life off. It took his life out and everything. So, with Flacco, I kind of disagree with what he was saying. I just feel like Flacco, I think he just dislikes and despises Future for some obvious reasons, which I clearly don't know. But yeah, man, when it comes to rapping about drugs and stuff or playing video games that goes into drugs or watch movies or like that. Usually, a lot of people don't take it seriously like that unless you have mental illness and you get into it, something like that, or you'll have no type of influencer in your life and you do it anyway. And once you do it, it kind of, it kind of takes you away. you know, of being in your own reality in a way, you know, not being in the real world, but being in your own reality and being comfortable in your own reality. And unfortunately, and that's how some people mention that's how it works out. You know, either they could get fixed, they could get help, or either you gonna go to jail or it takes your life away. And that's how it is right there. He said Juice WRLD looked to Future like a father figure. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
because he had no father figure in his life, so that's what he looked at too.
he did. I honestly believe that he probably was on drugs way before he got into the music industry.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like somebody who just does that does not just overday, but I don't think that had nothing to do with Future. I think maybe that's a lot of trauma and pain. He was trying to self-medicate.
also, prescription drugs that are bad for you as well. Like what's it? Was it Ritalin and all these medical drugs they try to put you in. Like my brother, you know, he was on I think he was on some type of prescription drug that he was in that the school kind of prescribed him to take and everything.
Yes.
Now, you know, my brother, you know, he suffered from clinical depression because of that and everything. You know, because at the time they said he was acting so hyper in the first. So how he to talk like acting so hyper. But my thing it was so confusing to me because we'd be at home, he don't be acting like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what the teacher was talking about and everything. But firstly, the teacher tried to prescribe my mother to take this, you know, a prescription drug, and unfortunately he took it for like a year or two. But I believe that particular drug really affected him. You know, right now he's a grown adult and everything, and I just feel bad about it and everything. And I just feel like as you know, especially in our black community, as being a parent and everything, there'll be sometimes, you know, if you're in a public school or a charter school, because me and my brother, we went to a charter school, you know, and they feel like if you doing something that's abnormal as a child, they'll try to prescribe your kids for something. But the thing is, that they will try to prescribe your kid for something, but you know, once they get older and everything, there will be so long lingering effects that your child might have when he gets a grown adult and everything. And I probably believe that Juice WRLD, maybe he took some type of drug that your prescription government school that we don't know about, and maybe it affect him to the long run, and not having an influencer, a father figure, something like that hurt him even worse. And that's why he looked just like a rapper that's the future. Say, hey, you know, I like his music. You know, I listen to his music. He does this and everything. And firstly, he listened. He did drugs. And at the end of the day, it took his